invite you to take an object in your hand, get comfortable, lean back. Share my screen. My little thing here in my hand again, and the invitation is to just tap into your body and your feelings, sensations, emotions, thoughts, and let that all be exactly as it is, nothing to change. Just recognizing what's going on, and where you make connection with the object. We go for about 10 minutes or so. Just allow yourself to just sink in, so play with eyes open or eyes closed, what feels right for you. Allow your breath to flow and relax your shoulders and your spine, and just be there for a moment, just with your awareness in your hands. And as you all have done that to some degree, I just give you a little bit of a pre-digestion about the temperature that you can feel, and the smoothness, the softness, the rough or round, sharp, heavy, light, density. So just let your nerves in your fingers just collect some tactile information without any meaning or any purpose, just recognizing. And I invite you to slow down your speed by half and by half again, so that you move that slowly, that all the information while you move can enter your feeling center. And at this point, again, as I shared that before, this is a total choice of yours, how much value you give this experience, touching with your hands and feeling pleasure. And as you might remember, we're looking for this tinglish electromagnetic sensation, this pleasant or pleasurable experience, either on your palm, between your fingertips, or wherever it feels right and good for you. And when you're finding a spot that feels comfortable, then I invite you to just stay there if you choose, or move to another spot. Either you move with one hand over the object, or you hold the object and move with the object over your hand. Totally up to you. You might even want to hold it still just for a moment and just do some micro movements. Important is when your attention moves somewhere else, that you catch yourself and bring your attention straight back to this experience there in your skin, in your hands. So, nothing to give here, nowhere to go, nothing to achieve, just to be and to feel. To sense, to experience. At any time, if thoughts popping up, or feelings or emotions that feel uncomfortable, just welcome them, invite them, and bring your attention straight back. To stop, stay there for a moment. And just notice what you notice. Just feel, sense what's going on. And I invite you to opening up your eyes, bring your attention back to the screen, and let's have a little sharing. Just close the window one moment, please. All right. Anything anybody want to share?
Sure. I have in my hand this golden healer stone, and it's polished and it's very smooth. Yet, after a while, and touching it, feeling the stone in my hand, apart from slowly the temperature of the stone is starting to match my body temperature, which is an experience in itself. Touching the surface, I feel that although it's very smooth, there are very slight imperfections in the smoothness. There's a ridge on one side, there's indentations where the stone is not perfectly curved, but it's has like a little I don't know the right word for it, but it's a little lower and then it moves back up again. It's less than 1 millimeter difference, but I can still feel it, and the more I touch the stone, the more I feel all the little differences in the surface. So it's the sensitivity of my feeling the object is I start to notice more and more differences that I can notice while touching it. It's very relaxing, very interesting to become aware of all the differences that I am noticing. So
Nice.
yeah, it's a nice exercise. I like it.
Was it easy for you to access some pleasure in the sensual experience?
Yeah, but I wasn't really busy with that in my mind, with the sensuality of touching it. But yes, I can feel it, the smoothness, the warmth of the stone after it warmed up. Uh, it feels very soft and silky in a way, although it is a stone. And yeah, so if you know, now that you mention it, I can feel the sensuality in touching the stone as well. Yeah, yeah. I also had a moment, a fleeting thought of touching a body like this, and
Please.
yeah, but it was only a fleeting moment. It's still a stone, so
Well, you know, this silky smoothness is not the stone, it's you.
I suppose. I suppose.
Thank you.
Thank you for the compliment. Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Hello, everybody. What is good to the armor ourselves is very good. If I can say something about Robert, I see that you come from a training where you had the armor through pleasure. I can see from your face it is
uh,
really relaxed, and then now you enjoy the sensual
mm-hmm.
touch, and all your description was amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
And also I see my face is more relaxed than before when I was also if in the armor in Europe we had not so much time to work, but then
Mm-hmm.
I've done some work also, and I came back to myself, and in today practice I really enjoyed the sensation. Is
Mm-hmm.
lately in the last month I was more in the mind, working and in the life that
What I've noticed over the past year and a half since my basic training, in practicing, also because of the level 3 training that I did, the dearmoring through pleasure, but the what I found is that less is more. Most of the time, the softer the touch in the dearmoring itself, the more connection you can feel with the client that you're working on, and also the effect of the dearmoring is actually more profound for both myself as a giver, but also for the client as the receiver. The softness and the attention that goes with it, hand in hand, I would say, with the concentration and the effort to softly feel into the body that you're working on, provides more profound effects on the client as well. So and the connection between me as a practitioner and the client becomes much deeper, more quickly than if you go really deep into the body itself quickly. So it's something that I found out over the 25 plus practice sessions that I've done so far since the training. Yeah, the
I, I,
the softer I approach my client, the better the results of the dearmoring.
I
So
can
it
share a
becomes,
little. I can share a
yeah.
little bit more about what's happening, if you want, in a little
Yes,
bit.
please.
So let's finish that little check in from the hand meditation, and then we just do a change of gears. Okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, great. About you, Hildegun, did you found anything?
Hmm. I mostly was and thought about the conversation I had with my mother before, and the little bit sadness that she don't join me in the joy, and try to rather push it down. Um,
Can I ask you a question here, Hildegun?
Mm.
Have you ever tried to ask your mom, playing the 3 minute game just with the hands, asking her, Mom, can we do that in exchange? May I feel your hand? And then you feel her hand. And then you ask her if she wants to feel your hand the same way.
I could have, but it's like she's not so. I don't know if she want to be so close. I am more touchy, but she is not. So
I've done that with my mother. She freaked out.
yeah, yeah. I think my mother maybe will feel uncomfortable, but I could ask if I want if I wanted that. I could ask and get a no, but
Yeah. I mean, you don't need to do that in reciprocity. You can just ask your mom, can I have your hands for 3 minutes and just feel your hand?
mm,
She doesn't have to do it your way, but just ask her if you can feel her hand.
yeah, it will be very close.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't done that.
Mm.
Mm.
Just, yeah, let the sadness maybe do some work there.
Yeah, it was also, but it was good to feel good to be with you three now because it was it was so good to meet people at the dearmoring Europe, and I was so happy like after, and then it goes so so a little bit crash when you come home and like okay, no contact
Mhm.
that way.
Mm.
So yeah,
Okay.
it was good to be here now with you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm.
All right. So, anybody brought anything? So, I've heard you, Robert Jan, so I can share more about how the acuity and the softness is amplifying and why that is neurologically. Can type into that if you want to. But anything else that you bring today, any theme related to touch, relationship, the armoring practitioner, practice, whatever is on your uh, awareness.
Mhm.
Anybody brought anything?
I'm start reflecting about trust and how can be different what the signal that I send to my body and outside of me on the universe and what's going can be going chemically inside of me or my nervous system when I can have more trust in many situations of life about people, about what can happen. For example, I'm speaking, I'm traveling with my equipment, and because I've been stolen one time, all of it, about all of it. Every time I go in a car, is that can be we can be safe. We can put it in a house, or we can close it down, or we can close the house because my equipment is inside. This is an example, or trust to people. So someone maybe can, it's happened during this day, met different people that I felt I cannot have trust in one person because said, if you don't do what I want, because someone asked me something, I can sleep in your bed with another person. I thought, okay, I would prefer to sleep in my bed and not to give it to you. And if you don't give me the bed, my relation with you will change.
Oh.
For me, it was very hard to take this, and the trust toward this person changed. I feel like I don't trust anymore this person. But then I start to think about it, okay, because then he excused me and everything, but something it changed because he put it. We can discuss about things, like we can be different, but I can say no because I like a pleaser. I all the time try to help the other, but at this point I'm trying also, but I want this, and I want to put at least on the table, and then we can find a solution. And then at the end, I let him have in the bed, but I said, at least I would like to have a mattress in front of the chimney, because otherwise I will not feel good. So I gave it to him what he wanted, but I found a solution for me. It was okay. But
Okay, let's have a look into trust before we're just like laying out the entire story. So trust, I have recognized it. Hi Erica, welcome. We just did the hand meditation and a check-in, and now we're just going in. Anybody brought anything? Do you want to do a quick check-in?
Yes, I do. Hi, I'm so glad to see you. Hi, Hildegun. Not so long time ago. And hi, David. Same for you. Hi, Robert Jan.
Hi.
Hi.
So, yeah, I was a little bit late because I had to do a French translation from official documents, and it's really fucked up. So, whoa. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. Welcome. Let's see if you just bring something today. Let's see what comes up.
Yeah.
Okay, David, trust. I have that noticed. You, Hildegun, or you, Robert Jan, did you brought anything you would like to look deeper?
But I heard yesterday a really interesting about trust. So I can say that when you talk about trust.
Yeah,
That's
good.
something in my.
Alrighty. You, Jan?
Yeah, what I would like to bring to the table is what I've experienced over the course of the past year and a half, and it's more or less a combination of my dearmoring practice work, and the exchange of tantric massages with a partner that I met briefly after the basic training at the end of 23. What I've noticed is that hand in hand with the my experience of finding that a softer touch often yields a better connection and better result in the dearmoring. I also found that I'm doing more energetic work than physical dearmoring, in a sense. I've started to notice that the effect that I am experiencing and that the client is experiencing is more of an energetic effect than a physical removing of blockages,
Yes.
if you will.
Yeah, yeah. I will dive into that. That goes hand in hand with what you said before, after the hand meditation. Perfect.
Yes.
Great. Noticed. Great. Erica, how about you?
Do I bring anything?
You brought yourself.
I think it's a lot about self-reflection. It's self-reflection. I try to look at myself from the outside more. So how do I behave? And yeah, there is an interesting thing there that I see and that I experienced already for a very long time. That is because I'm a very strong woman. I'm really strong. Yeah, like this torso is like whoa, and I behave like that, and I feel that there's something there that doesn't really feels like my feminine side. So it's like a self-defense piece to behave like this, and that's what I've been observing myself with. It's so interesting. I don't need a camera to do that, I don't need this. Like, it's interesting to to watch myself sometimes move and stuff like that. So, and because I'm in this amazing transformation, like tuning into the older woman. I really, really want this woman to be like an old female type, and not like my ancestor or my grandmother, like a real, she really turned into a man. She even got a beard and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Okay.
And-
Let's see.
I think that's also really a thing that's on the outside. So the thing that I see and the thing that I feel, and it's very somatic. Yeah. So yeah.
Let's see. I have an idea. Let's see where that goes.
Okay.
First, then let's start to chew on yours, David, with trust. So I just want to give you just like a short thing. When I listen to approaches like that, so when I ask questions, said, so what do you bring on the table, and you say the word trust, I see it from different perspectives, you know. And when you ask that question, I see it from the perspective of the polyvagal theory of the nervous system. So trust is a place of safety, you know, and safety that we normally project in the outside is something that we just want be provided to us, that we feel safe, and that's just like not possible. So safety is something that we can create in ourselves neurologically, and it's literally a regulation practice, you know. So safety is the keyword when it comes to trust. So are you safe or are you not safe? And when you have, for example, the experience you have been stolen with your material, then you have a constant story around that, because you have not probably really fully letting go of the loss. So there's always, it comes with some you know, fear in the way. And this story of the fear that makes you distrust, so you create your own environment of not being safe. But when you are in a position, you know, you travel in the car, or you just at the airport, or you know, just like sitting in a restaurant and having all your gears standing there, and you go to the bathroom without taking it with you, then you create an environment where your stuff can be stolen easy, right? So there is this saying around that, you know, and that makes totally sense to me. So the guy who is actually trusting in God and letting his house open, and then he goes playing, and then his stuff is getting stolen, and then he is complaining to God, I've been trusting in you, and stuff got stolen, and then God answers just like, yeah, you idiot, lock the door and trust. And that's the thing, when you're not feeling safe, it's an indicator for you actually to create an environment where you are safe. You know, if you're getting robbed on the street in Sao Paulo or in Rio de Janeiro from a gang or somewhere else in the world, you know, you can't do anything. Just better, you know, give them your equipment, because your life is worth more worse than actually a camera. But the thing is, when you in all other situations, you know, when you're not feeling safe with your material, then it's a good indicator in yourself to recognize maybe you need to check your environment better, or maybe you need to put it really somewhere where you feel safe, and trust that inner sensation that there is a fear that shows you can be stolen, and you need you know, your own little safety thing. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes the sense if I have an intuition, oh, I don't feel safe, yeah, check around and do an action to feel better. And then, okay, I can relax. Because, for example, in the house of Dan, he leave open the window door, and the door is just closing. I think I don't know where I am. I'm in Portugal. I don't know how it's people live. And then I was having this uncomfort in me, and then we go in his van, and the door was let it open because we went out the night before with all the stuff, and someone entered. So nothing was stolen, but it was visible that someone was searching for money in the car. So when I don't know where I am, I know if I'm Ibiza, I'm Barcelona, I know that I need to be really with 4 years because I know where I am. And but when I know where I am, I need to ask or at least try some. And then yes, I can relax. I understand it's good, like God said, close the door and then trust, but not leaving the door open and try, oh, nothing, it will go. Yeah, I'm more in these things for sure. So do what I can do to for feel safe. Yeah, this is smart. I think it is smart. It's not like, "Oh, okay, I trust all the universe. Trust." No, I cannot. Sorry. Why do that? I'm not even in the paradise. I'm not. I'm in the world, and I know how the world is working. So I don't want to be stupid. Uh, just that. But then find a way to relax. And how to do with a person is more complex. Yeah, more simple. The other story that I told, you can say something about it.
Which story you mean?
When the person told me, if you don't give me to me what I want, you're bad, I will change my relation with you. And I
This
felt,
is blackmail. This is blackmailing.
I told him, you are threatening me. Threatening or blackmail is most correct phrase. And I told him, you are threatening me. What is this? And then my trust toward this person is changed. And
I
it's
guess for a good reason.
yeah, it's normal, or I need just because I was speaking about Dan and these things, or I need just to say, okay, in that case, he excuse and he saw that he made a mistake. Then you need to discover 1 hour another person to understand that he was threatening me or blackmailing me because I don't give what you want. It's like, my God, I'm with a child. She's not 37 years old.
So the interesting thing is the pleaser in you, the good guy, the unconscious part, I don't know, 20 years ago that would have said just like, oh, you don't like me? Sure, you can have my mattress. And now you have literally the awareness just like, no, this is fucking blackmailing. Just like, if you just want my mattress, it's good to want, but I'm not giving it to you.
Or at least we find a solution. I understand you want for that reason, but I have also my needs. Why I need to go? Yeah.
Boom, here you are.
So that's I wanna respect my needs. Why not? Why I need to give because you want? Who are you? Sorry. Okay.
Well, basically, that guy is not respecting your boundaries. When you say no, that should be sufficient. No is a complete sentence in the wheel of consent. If you do not consent, then that's it, and you don't have to even give a reason why you do not consent. You just don't consent, and that's it. So he's
Hey, Robert Jan,
Yeah.
we don't use the wheel of consent here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries, because the wheel of consent is misleading people in a very particular way, and that's the reason why I actually abandon it.
Oh, okay.
But I can tell more about that, why that is.
Yeah, please, please do. Maybe not now, but I don't know.
No,
If you want
I'm
to.
happy to do.
Okay.
I can say
Just-
something else. Sorry, it's coming now in my mind. How many times how my mom completely do continuously to avoid question, to avoid problem, to avoid issue, to avoid discussion, we give away what we want to have peace. And this was a kind of way that I acted so much. And also in that night, at the end, to don't go in a war, I've done it. But at least I try to have what I always feel more comfortable. And also in the eyes of some, but yes, because you had a big bed and he had a small bed and you want to go with a woman. Yes, okay, but I can't sleep in the bed where I was sleeping. So I don't, it's his need. So why I need to give away?
You know, the interesting thing is, as I said that already, is just look how far you have come. And that you're actually, from the pleaser perspective, recognizing you're a recovering pleaser still, there's still some residue. You still feel kind of shit that, you just have struggles with that, but you have actually recognized that, no, that's blackmailing. I'm not willing to do that. And if you think like you can just put me on this, this threat, just fuck you, fuck off. End of story. So, but I have a question to you, Hildegun, because you were similar with the trust issue. Did that, what we have talked about, kind of answered your question, or is your question about trust going in a different direction?
I don't have a question. I just heard a pod yesterday, and it was interesting what he said. He said, he turned it around, but it helped me a lot. He said, don't trust anybody, because then you start to control them to be the person you want to trust.
I would 100% agree to that, because trust is nothing that we give to somebody else. Trust is something that we have. And that's based on the on the sense of safety that we carry. But the only trust that I have outside of myself, that's the trust to God, however I define it.
I don't understand it. You can more.
Yeah, when you trust a person, you give your power to a person. You trust or you don't trust internally, not a person and not a thing. You just feel trust or distrust. What comes back to a sense of safety or not safety. And that's an inside experience. Nothing from the outside can provide safety. You can only create that internally. I would say, I
When a
don't know.
person don't is like what you thought, or then you become like a victim. So that's also.
Yeah, when you give your trust to somebody else and the trust is broken, then it's the other person's fault,
Yeah, so I thought that was very good for me to hear that, to like
Yeah.
trust nobody, doubt everything. He said.
I like that. Perfect.
For me, it's like, because I trust so easily, so it was kind of,
Yeah.
but it's good for me, I think.
I know. Okay, Robert Jan, let's have a look on your side. 1 second. Is that efficient or sufficient, David?
I would like to ask another little things.
Okay.
So we need to be ready all the time to close a relation.
We need to, sorry, say again?
We need to be ready all the time to stop relation, because if someone blackmail me, just do not give me away myself. What this is my sense? Okay, I will say no to this person, and then something is changing, and for the moment the relation in a way is stop. Maybe it can be rebuilt, but something happened. And it's not like I can do nothing is happened. No, something is happened, and I need to take serious that. And maybe, and I don't want to really connect like before with this person, and maybe we'll change. This happens all the time in family stuff, no, with your partner, with your mother, with your daughter, with this kind of stuff, and you don't break everything, but with someone that you don't know very well, and it's the first time, okay, take distance. I don't know if I want to collaborate with you. Was in the dearmoring Europe, no? I was projecting, oh, I like to work with this person, but after these things, I don't think I want to work with this person. So
what I would say, super simple, super easy, the distinction between reacting and responding. It's not literally the end of a relationship when somebody is blackmailing you without knowing it. But if you are reacting to it from a place of being hurt or, feeling blackmailed, and you react to it, then you're literally on the victim side of the situation. But if you actually catch it yourself and you actually feel it, what's going on, and you respond back, you take a breath and you just actually form your sentence, you literally get into your guts in the feeling and say to this person, hey, you know, in a very clear, concise way, you know, I feel blackmailed when you say that. And my relationship to you is on a brink of, I don't want to have anything to do with you if you're not aware of what you're doing here. You can ask me for the mattress, that's totally fine, and you want to have it, that's totally okay too. But I'm not willing to give it to you, and that needs to be respected. And I don't want to be blackmailed for my position. And when you can respond in this way, then you don't need to break a relationship that can actually deepen the relationship, because that person can now reflect and say, whoa, fuck, that's actually really true what you say. Yeah, sorry, I blackmailed you. Yeah. The cut of the relation doesn't happen in the person. The cut of the relation happen in you when you react instead of responding accordingly based on your values. Or you can say, I feel really hurt. Just like, wow, it's just like I have a boundary, like a wall coming up in front of my nose, and I just want to just cut you out. I don't want to have anything to do with you. This is not okay. So be honest and real without falling down the trap of being reactive and shutting the door.
May I another little story?
Yeah.
And I noticed that people don't listen to my boundaries. Late, okay, my mom, maybe I need to understand the age and the ictus, everything, but it's all this time. I said three things, 3 times. I cannot in this moment. Can you wait? I cannot in this moment. Can you wait? Also to the end. Now I need to prepare my luggage 2 times, and he continued to ask me to leave that and do, and I let him notice and let him notice. So why people cannot listen and to accept one boundaries? And with my ex partner, it was continuously. I am stupid, the one stupid. I need to scream.
Yes.
Yes.
I need to like to scream the people that are listening to me.
No, it's the same thing. It has nothing to do with people. It has to do with yourself and how you carry your value of your boundary.
Can you expand a little bit?
Yeah, it's like Robert Jan said, you know, the no is a full sentence, doesn't need any explanation. And when you say no from a sincere place, it's just like no. And then you look in somebody else's eyes and say, did you get that?
When it's grounded.
Ready all the time to give you away my no, you say.
Yeah, I said no. Did you get that? And I have a fuck yes to my no, because I'm not changing that.
And the other people smell that I'm not strong on my boundary.
Yes.
Then
They're testing you.
I can obtain what I want. I can obtain it because he's not strong.
Yes. From David we can have it because he is lucid.
Yeah, and I'm tired because it's also this so many work, give it for free, so many things, give it for free.
A little bit manipulation here, a little bit kind of
Exactly.
just like, then it will work. Just like
Exactly.
I just get him around my finger easily. With David we can do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's so creative. Yeah.
He's so creative. He will adapt. He can sleep on the ground.
Yes.
Very clear. Appreciate the full moon will be with us.
Exactly.
All right, Jan Robert. So what you say is so true to me as well. The more I work with dearmoring, or I have worked with dearmoring, the more I recognize less is more.
Mm-hmm.
And the subtler I went, the less deep I have to go. And I notice on one point that the energy level that opens up to that is just infinite. And that's just so, it's profound.
Yeah, it is.
And I came to the conclusion myself that the energy in itself is doing the work. And here comes the but. I love the embodiment, and the embodiment for me personally goes into the muscular tissue, and that I experience that through the good experience of pain. And my best results in the armoring on my body and with people I've been working with is a combination between deep tissue and pain and energetics.
Okay.
That's just my experience.
Yeah. I'm still finding that out. You're much more experienced than I am, but I've noticed that also in the basic training when I was working on some practicing with some people, that I was really trying hard, and I wasn't getting anywhere with breaking through the armor. And then I was getting really tired from the physical exertion, and then I just decided, okay, I'm just gonna slow down, and because I'm physically exhausted almost. And at that particular moment, the breakthrough came, and it wasn't intentional. The slowing down was more a physical thing with me than a realization that I should slow down and exert less pressure. So I'm still learning in that respect. But the other thing that I noticed was that I had a good friend of mine as a client, and just by putting my hand on her stomach or near her liver, that was enough for her to get a really powerful release of emotion that was apparently stored there. And I didn't even need to go into the deeper tissues around the liver area. It just happened. And that's when it sort of clicked in my mind that, this is energy at work. And I understand what you're saying, and I will keep that in mind when I'm working on people, that it's both the combination of the energy and the deep tissue work, and the sweetness of the pain. Some people can't bear it. Some people are afraid of the pain. I've noticed they tense up, and they sort of want to avoid the pain. So that's another thing that it's really careful looking for the balance in that respect. But it's an interesting observation that you.
Yeah, I want to go a level deeper than that. Hi, Rickard. You're an hour late, but you're more than welcome for the last half an hour. I don't introduce you. You don't have the opportunity to check in or anything. You can just be here and just observe. You're more than welcome to be here because we're in the middle of it. So the thing is, because you said, Jan, Robert Jan, that you just noticed that when you touched the object and when you felt it, that you're more attentive when you do the armoring, that the softness is more efficient. Yeah. And this is an observation that I had over years of doing this practice on my own. And this is a description that I have, and I hope I can deliver it. So I said, the difference between the direct route and the indirect route. Yeah.
Okay.
So the direct route is just like we are in action and we feel whatever we touch, we just in connection and we feel. And the indirect route is we do something that we get the response. Yeah. And in the beginning of the training, I have said just like, forget that for a second, forget that for a day, or forget that for that training. We go into the pure receiving of it, that you feel it for yourself. So you go in action. And the more you do that, you rewire this neurological pathways of the reward center, the sensory inflow, the entire thing. It's a neuroplasticity magic thing that brings the nervous system somehow into alignment. And that's all my observation in myself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then on one point we wonder about what is with the indirect route. And then we say in this entire body of work, well, you just choose on one point to make the direct route your default of touch and feeling and connection. In most people's world, the default is the indirect route. So the pleaser and everybody and the nice guy and everybody is trying to get all the tricks to do the right things to get the response back. Yeah. So when you take this default from this indirect route and put that on the direct route and choose yourself first with your experience, then the indirect route becomes like an extra or bonus on top of that. And so this is the description how I see that. So when you actually go down the road with the direct route and you see it's like a funnel, and you can look through that funnel and you see just like a tiny little bit on the end. But when you do that with integrity and in alignment with your own values and in agreement with the other person you have permission from, then the indirect route on the other side opens up like a funnel like this way.
Mm-hmm.
And it is like as if you can look into somebody else's energy field with your level of integrity, and then you have energetically the without pushing or forcing anything, the energetic capacity to be in somebody else's energy field without directing anything. Just let the energy within people be the guide, and you follow with the indirect route where people are and where they go. And this is something magic that I can't describe in any other way. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I think so. I think it makes sense.
Yeah. So that said, the better you get in this one, in the direct route,
Mm-hmm.
the better energetically you become in the indirect route. On the other side of that funnel, it's like a.
Are you saying that they go hand in hand?
Yes.
That
Yes.
the direct route is a prerequisite?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
This is why I'm chewing on this hand thing so much, because the more you practice that, and as well in touching and sensuality, in connection and intimacy, the more the indirect route becomes a superpower, because the energetics behind that open up a door that no other way can be opened up.
And are you, when you're referring to the direct route, are you talking about tactile sensitivity?
Yes.
Okay, now I get it.
The entire experience with waking up the hands is the foundation of this development.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I see your face smiling. You're getting it. That was good.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, so the more you practice that, the direct route, the more you experience your superpower in the indirect route, the more confidence you get. So you have confirmation about experiences,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just wonder, wow, how is that happening? It happens through more practice of the direct route. Because
I'm make notes here.
Because you cannot train the indirect route. It's impossible. You can only train the direct route, and the indirect route becomes a byproduct.
Right. Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit more this indirect route that became a byproduct? Because, yeah.
Well, the byproduct is that the more you come into alignment with your direct route, so in integrity with your action, and you ask for touch and connection, and you feel, and you can feel it all, you go to nature and you have intimate connection, the more you are capable of, with the indirect route, to tune into people's energies. Because the indirect route it's accessible anyway, everywhere, but people think to become better in the indirect route, they have to practice skills and tricks and magic and all that stuff. But that's not what is happening. What is happening is the direct route is aligning your nervous system, your actions, your words, your values, and that in itself creates a new foundation. You can access the capacity of the indirect route. You become an energy master.
So I feel the others, because in the indirect route, I gonna feel the other, but I don't manipulate these or what's going on.
Yes, yes. And the other benefit on top of that is you will recognize, like if that dickhead is blackmailing you and saying just like, well, if you don't give me your mattress, I don't like you anymore. You actually track stuff like that through your own values because you know the difference and you have the words for it and you say, you know, you can try, that's a good idea, but fuck you.
Yeah, and I'm touching my wound because it's still a big manipulation. I know that I will attain what I want because I'm gonna push on this button.
Yes. Okay. So, and now, and then I just want to go to Erica. I just want to say, I make it really short and crisp and sharp about the Wheel of Consent. The Wheel of Consent is great. The Wheel of Consent has been diving in many different areas of personal development. But the Wheel of Consent has a pitfall. And the pitfall is that when you use the values of the Wheel of Consent without the context of the 3-minute game, it is a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain that a little bit more?
Yes, I explain that very clearly. So when you see the Wheel of Consent as a circle, yeah, first of all, you have the structure of who is doing the action. It's either you or the other person. And who is it for? It's either for you or for them. Obvious.
Yeah.
It gives you 4 different things of engagement that makes it so easy. Yeah. And this is in the somatic consent engagement system the same because it comes from the 3-minute game. But the pitfall of the Wheel of Consent is that around that structure, there is the circle of consent. And when you play the 3-minute game and you do action that is not within the agreement, then you are in a shadow. But the Wheel of Consent has no application for interpersonal engagement. Interpersonal engagement is when you are with friends and with colleagues, you hang out with family, and you're just like, yeah, let's come here, let's hug me. No, you have touched me without asking me. You are in the shadow. No, that only works when you are in the Wheel of Consent and you play the 3-minute game. When you project a shadow on somebody else without having consent, and that is a shadow, it comes from your own shadow. It has nothing to do with somebody else's shadow. It might not. So when you take the wheel away in the Wheel of Consent, then you have the action, who is doing it and who is it for, and then the edges to the shadows, they are not defined. And people choose to project the shadows on people who are rigid with the structure of the Wheel of Consent and have already weaponized that insight.
Yeah, now I get it. When you take the wheel of consent away, then it's an open area across of what are you doing and who are you doing it for.
Right, and that in itself, this is what I have seen all over the place in the tantra scene, in the conscious, in so many scenes. It's just like just when people say just like, this is a shadow because you have not asked me. Yeah. But when you are with your family, for example, it's just like, or when you're with your lover, just, is that a shadow because somebody is projecting that on you because they have already internalized that as a weapon? Just no. We played in the dearmoring training this, the predator, protector, and prey. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And I said at the very end, none of us, none of you has a choice who is choosing you as a predator.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
the same dynamic. People put themselves in the victim position,
Mm-hmm.
and then they put the other person in the predator realm. And that's the same dynamic.
Yeah. It's like the the Darvo deny, attack, reversing, victim, and offender.
Yes.
And exactly that, the reversing of the victim and the offender is what could happen, and that's shadow behavior
Yeah.
if it happens, when it happens. Yeah.
So the wheel of consent is great when it comes to playing the 3-minute game, but everybody involved has to know we're playing a game. Otherwise, the structure is a weapon.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And people don't know that the wheel of consent is an expression of the 3-minute game.
I've yeah, it is explained in the body of work. It's usually explained as the other way around. The 3-minute game is an expression of the wheel of consent.
Yeah, but it's not. It's the exact opposite.
Okay.
The 3-minute game was long time before the wheel of consent. Betty Martin was a student from Harry Fedders in a workshop where he played the 3-minute game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never got that.
Here we go. Good that you're here today.
Studied. Yeah. Okay. Mm. It starts with the 3-minute game.
It starts with a 3-minute game. And when you see it from that perspective, the 3-minute game,
But the rules are very, very strict in the 3-minute game.
No. The thing is, I mean, it goes much deeper than that. Okay, I give it another 2 minutes. Do you want another 2 minutes of explanation about that? Yeah.
I do, but I don't know about the other
Okay,
people.
so let me make it clear. So it's because it's so exciting. The 3-minute game comes from a BDSM practice. Yeah, from a practice that calls power, surrender, and power, intimacy, and surrender.
Mm-hmm.
So the person who is in action for themselves is the person in power. And the person in power in the 3-minute game, in the original form, doesn't have this sensory inflow activated. This is an invention that Betty Martin brought in. But it's not the origin of the 3-minute game. The origin of the 3-minute game, what Betty Martin calls taking, is actually the person who is doing the action, does the action for the other person to surrender. So you are in a dominant position where the person in surrender gives their power to the person who is doing the action to save their sanity. So the origin of this dynamic is from Harry Fedders, from the 12-step program. What is the second step of the 12-step program? You need to give your power to a greater power than yourself to save your sanity. And in the 3-minute game, between the dom and the sub is giving their power to the dom, that the dom is doing something to the sub to learn to surrender, to give their power away. And if the dom is not in attunement with the sub, so the indirect root, if the dom can't feel the sub and does some stupid shadow shit, then the sub should fire the dom, because the sub is actually in more power than the dom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is the origin of it. And it has nothing to do with Betty Martin's 3-minute game, with Betty Martin's Wheel of Consent.
Okay.
That is very good explained in the book of Matt. So if you don't get it, go and read it.
This entire thing needs a heavy realignment in the industry. I failed. I brought the Wheel of Consent to Europe and I did a big shit show.
You personally, you mean?
Yeah, I brought Betty Martin and the wheel to Europe. I'm the asshole. I'm the
Oh, okay.
idiot. And you know why I did that?
No.
Because I was sick of the abuse from the new tantra.
Ah, okay.
So I was trying to heal the devil with a Beelzebub. Okay. So that said, Erica, and I would like to give you that as a picture. I don't know, you probably have not seen it. And because I'm so I love my maps. This thing, and this is where Betty Martin got the idea of the Wheel of Consent from, is from the shamanic circle.
Yeah.
You know, you can put that in north, south, east, west, and then you have this thing around. That's the same idea with this structure, you know. I'm not referring here to the Wheel of Consent or anything else. This is from a friend, mentor, teacher, Bruce Lyon, who came up with that structure where he said, you know, you have this inside world here and you have the dark masculine, and as it is kind of in the Wheel of Consent, but it's not related to it, you could say that in this structure here where the so-called taking dynamic is, call this the dark masculine. Yeah, and the dark masculine doesn't mean man, it just means your masculine energy. And then you have the light masculine energy down here. And then you have on the what's all the receiving side, and on the giving side of this structure, you have here the light feminine. And then you have the dark feminine down there, what is a surrender structure. Yeah. And when you just let me make that a little bit smaller, a little bit more. So meaning of that is when you have played the 3-minute game with a few hundred people and you come into your values, then you will develop this structure of, you know, values of integrity, of the dark masculine. You develop the structure of gratitude through the light masculine, of somebody else's action, and here of your own action. You develop the value of surrender when you give somebody access to your body. And you develop the value of generosity and feeling, you know, you give because you have, through this light feminine aspect. And then you have the outside thing, what is not consent here. It's just a circle in this way. But the outside structure of that is the unhealthy dark masculine, what we call the shadows of rape and abuse and stuff like that. And then you have the unhealthy light masculine, what we call exploitation and privilege and stuff. And the unhealthy dark feminine, what is the victim and enduring and stuff. And the unhealthy light feminine, what is pleasing and the do-gooder. That doesn't mean that has anything to do with masculine or feminine aspects. Yeah? So the idea is when you now put that, because it's not the wheel, and you see the structure of the somatic consent engagement system, and you overlap them, then it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are the shadows is the unhealthy dark masculine. But you can use this structure everywhere. So, but what I want to say is, if you want to become really better in your masculine or in your feminine, you have to see where are your weak spots, where are your main shadows. And then you just go into this structure and then you practice that where you have less embodiment of it. So in this case, you say you want to go more on the feminine side. What is not the female side, or doesn't has anything to do with you as a woman, has to do with your female feminine side, is you just go either more in serving, yeah, but you only go in serving when people asking you, or you go into more offering people your stuff to use it, or use you, and where you can surrender to somebody else's action.
Mhm.
So this is where you learn it.
Mhm. Yeah, I can absolutely see the value of this graphic, and I can also see how that there's in the surrender piece. I can still, I can do so much in there. Oh,
Oh,
Mm.
does it make sense?
it makes sense,
Good.
absolutely. It's so interesting because it's so programmed. My God, this is so programmed into my system, in my core, in everything, you know? It's
Yeah, you know, just let me get that back for a second. Well, I don't know if I'm back. I have so many buttons up here. Share and back. Okay. So, you know, the middle part here, this point, what I call in the system the apex, so this interpersonal place of love and care, you know, this place in the middle, this is where you really go beyond. So this is where the transpersonal spiritual path happens, when you have integrated all four aspects. So, and if you just take this as a point here, and you would say, okay, I'm definitely not in the middle, because if I would be in the middle, I would be in alignment all the fucking time, everywhere in life, but I'm not. But then if you take that point and you put it somewhere here, so everybody can do that for themselves. What do you think where your point is out of the center? Where are you out of the balance? Where are you hanging out, and where could you practice more? Are you out of center in the dark masculine, the light masculine, the dark feminine, or the light feminine? And then you know where you can do, in the practice of the 3-minute game, more of embodiment.
Mm.
Yes.
It's deep. This, we can do, you know, we can spend hours on this, you know, deeper, and also with exercises. I would love to do, you know, more with this.
3-minute game, Robert Jan, 3-minute game.
That our friends and master creates, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Play more the 3-minute game. I mean, this was my doorway. You know, I have been told before I actually started to become a teacher of that work, is before you can really fully give it, you have to receive it fully.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the main thing. So I just played it a few hundred times, and I just saw my own bullshit.
Mm. Okay. But this is the slides you showed us is a part of a whole presentation. I saw on the left side. Yeah.
I mean, the whole presentation is, I just want to. The whole presentation is, you know, these are all the maps. Oh no, sorry, you can't see it.
You know,
Forgive
it's
me.
a continuation of what I've learned from you, all the maps, and then I don't think I saw this one already, so but I can put it in there, and yeah, it's continuation, so it's more learning. It's good. It's has a little bit a shamanic approach, because I can feel that energy very well, about light and the dark, feminine, masculine. Yeah.
Just want to show you that, just as a little show off, because I can. I mean, this is here on the left side, the entire presentation. So these are my main slides, but every slide has, you know, a handful of sub slides. And I have been using that over the years and developing. So there are altogether, just like to let you know, there are 1,500 nearly slides.
Wow.
Jesus. Jeez.
So just to let you know, I've kind of just like squeezed my brain like a lemon.
Mm-hmm.
But enough show off. Now I feel guilty of show off.
No, please, good. We love it.
Let's say I'm super passionate about it.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. I mean, this is an impressive body of work.
Yeah, but it sucks. Nobody wants it.
I want it.
No, people don't want it.
The world.
This is too challenging for people. So my son told me 5 years ago, "Hey, Dad, you're 10 years too early."
I did it, so it's not too challenging. It's just, yeah, you need courage and guts to do it, but once you get through it and it starts to sink in, and yeah.
Look, we are 5 here.
Yeah, we are doing it, but honestly, inside of myself, I have been in the last years 20, 100 times of close to giving up and say just like, fuck, I'm swimming against the stream here and I have no interest anymore to heal anybody.
Do you
Like if people,
with the stream? No, you don't want to go with the stream, so
no, I can't go with the
you
stream.
can't anymore. So
You can't.
no, you can't.
I'm fucked.
Yeah.
I'm fucked. And to be honest, if you dive deeper into that work, you're fucked too.
or already fucked for a long time. We cannot go under the...
Yeah.
So let's be all fucked together. Okay, let's do a checkout. It's a little bit over time. So my invitation is when you do a checkout, take something in your hand, bring awareness to the object, and speak from your own truth. What's your takeaway? What resonated? How do you feel? Whatever you want to say. And who want to start?
I need to go because someone wait for me for that, so I go for first.
Please.
I really love to be in this community. I love this work. I love you, and that's give me good sensation to have a community with people that see me. I can see them, and we create something together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I receive your love with gratitude.
Okay, my biggest takeaway is the connecting that you did, Matthias, of the direct route and the indirect route. It really opened my eyes to the how they are interconnected and how I can use both. It happened to me in different sessions, basically, or in a session but done in in a sequence, but I never put them together the way you explained it in this call. So that's a really big takeaway for me, and yeah, a gem. It really improves my understanding of how the two are interconnected with each other. So I'm really happy.
Thank you, Robert Jan. My honor to have you here today.
I think that my takeaway is today that I don't have to take it too serious. That's it.
I had a sentence that I've been using 20 years ago that was, if you take me serious, you want me to make fun of you. Thank you, Erika, for joining today.
My takeaway, my no will be a strong no from now on.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, I think I just so glad that I'm here with you. It was very good today. Connect a little bit.
Yeah, thank you. How about you, Rickard?
I was a bit late, but I'm happy I remembered, and I could be part of. Feels like a good energy in the group. And my takeaway is that I like the dark masculine, dark feminine, like the new way of thinking about the wheel of consent. Yeah, it's nice with new ways to like learn stuff. Makes me more open in my mind.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, the interesting thing is, and that's just like my takeaway, why you all have spoken, when I actually dropped out of Betty Martin's work and the Wheel of Consent, I just choose Harry Fedis, so the 3-minute game creator, as my mentor for a while. And he said on one point, you know, Betty Martin took the 3-minute game and made the Wheel of Consent. And I took the Wheel of Consent from Betty Martin and made somatic consent out of it. But I just brought it back to the roots and to the core where it came from Harry Fedis. And he said that if I really want to grow with it, I need to give it away, like to everybody, to you guys, to anybody else. I need to give it away that you make something else out of that. If I can't give it away that you make it bigger or something else out of that, then I failed. I failed. I just joke. I failed so many times. But, you know, I'm feeling grateful that we're here today. Please share it to other dearmoring practitioners. This is the Monday call, 7 o'clock, you know, and it's an open invitation.
Will you be sending us the recording that you made of those few slides about the dark feminine and the
Yes, I can send then. I send it around. I just do it somehow.
Yeah, if you would, please.
Thank you and goodbye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Enjoy the rest of the full moon.
Yeah.
Okay, ciao.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.